Okay guys, so as I'm sure you all are aware, Conquest Miss is literally about 2 weeks away, and whoa. Is this supposed to be our Christmas tree? Wow, alright, well, it looks like this needs a little bit more decoration, so, yeah, let's see what we can do. Here, kids, gather around and don't make any sound. Tonight's the night I'll tell you all the tale of the first Conquest Miss tree. You see, this not how we used to see, before the fishy monster said, I bless thee. Those weren't the best of times. We've bent from the harsh winds of adversity, yet we've managed to reach straight to heavens just like a pine tree. For these reasons he gifted his blessing, so we can gather in harsh colds yet still sing. Make our bells ring and gulp our mead in one swing. Thus it began, splendor and glamour take in hand. The world we've seen wasn't the same again. To this day we celebrate the time the world got changed. Hanging the things didn't used to shine on a long sturdy pine. By playing merry all night and dine under the shiny Conquest Miss tree. Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome to episode 9 of Dukonians Arising. Now this is the last time we will be starting an episode here at this house at least, but we are going to be moving. Well, I am going to be moving to a personal project. That does not mean, by the way, that I am leaving Queensdale, but I feel that it is a nice thing to have a personal project just to take a little relaxing break and just have something for oneself. The other Dukonians are doing the same. We are finding little personal things around to do, and it just helps us regroup. Now, we will be working on the castle, and that will be in the next episode. You guys will be seeing a lot of progress there, but that will be our progress episode, progress update episode. But this episode, I will introduce you to my new project, and there is other things that I hope you guys will be able to help me with. But let me show you guys how to get there. Conveniently placed right next to my house, which was done a long time ago. We still haven't actually refined the way down here. The idea is to eventually finish this mausoleum slash, I don't even know what this would be called, is to make some kind of way down there, but we haven't fully finished that yet. But coming down here, we leave the town and we come to a nether portal, which leads us into another dimension. And here we come out into this conveniently placed nether fortress that Thomas has built for us as a little protected area here in the nether. And on our way to the end portal, actually, there is a now an ice path. I didn't even ask anyone to do this, but I'll tell you the story later. But while we're actually heading down, I'll tell you, when I found this spot, several people just like took it on themselves to just make this iceway. Like I had like, it was like an idea. Like I was wanting to move to this area, but I had nothing set in stone. Next thing I know, there's an iceway built, and I was just like, whoa. All right, so now I have to use this area, and of course pigmen get in the way, and that is most annoying, as this is very hard to steer. But yeah, so now this iceway is here, and it makes for a very quick and easy travel method to this new area, which is 6,000 blocks north of Queensdale, which is a lot of blocks and would take quite a while to get there in the overworld. But I find this to be the perfect location for what I want to do. I want to make a quadrangular castle. This area was, I was looking on a dime map, and apparently Tigerbread and Aquotis were on an exploration trip and found this village, and right next to this was this perfect spot. Not to mention the surrounding biomes are almost perfect for this type of atmosphere I'm trying to make here. But anyways, I saw it on Dynamap and I was like, yep, that's where I'm going. Because I found spots closer, but nothing as perfect as this. So as you can tell, this is a quadrangular castle that we have going here. And it takes heavy design influence from Bogium Castle, which is near Roberts Bridge in East Sussex, England. And I'm sure if you guys are familiar with Bogium Castle, you will definitely be able to see the design influences. For example, this L-shaped causeway leading in. We will be having a barbican here with a set of drawbridges leading in. Now, also, I am also taking inspiration from a brick, more recent castle called Hurstmonceau near East Sussex, England as well. It is a brick, more of a modernized, it's more of a stone house, but it's the same idea as a quadrangular castle. I'm sure that it actually was influenced by Bogium, which was the original quadrangular castle. Set in the middle of a moat. There's going to be a great moat all the way around this, and it's going to be enclosed by a water. Also, I'm taking design influence from a castle called Harlech Castle, which is in northern Wales. Now, the design influence I'm taking from that is I will be building a platform / garden all the way around the foundations of the outside of the castle. It's going to be technically a curtain wall, but it is going to be a garden. I'm going to use it as a garden. I think it'll just be a really beautiful feature to have like a little spot you can walk all the way around and enjoy the scenery. It'll almost look a little bit colonial in a way, because I will be using brick as the masonry for the castle. Now, I do realize brick is not near as sturdy of a masonry type as, say, stone brick, because of the consistency of brick is much more brittle. But as for looks and whatnot, I decided to go for brick because I just really wanted a brick castle, and I think it's going to look great. So I'm really excited for it, and it's going to be more centered around just a fortified manor as we've done with Lumiere, but still, I'm really hoping that this is going to turn out as good as I I'm imagining it in my head. So the four corners are protected by 4 round towers. As you can see, very, very thick walls. The design of round towers on corners is to further fortify this structure, because corners are typically, or considered to be, the most weakest point of a castle, because if you take a corner out, next thing you know, the whole wall is going to fall down because there's nothing holding it up. But by the use of round towers, which are a far more sturdy design because there is no corners in it, and therefore it provides this super sturdy structural support to hold the whole castle together. Future Dukon here with a quick intermission to point out another design feature of the reason why these towers are so set out from the wall. They are called range towers. The design and purpose is so that they can provide overlapping flanking fields of fire against possible and would-be attackers that would be up against the wall. So there is no hiding against the wall. Typically, if you have a straight wall, just straight, the crenellations would be set out to a point where, I mean, unless if there's murder holes, but if it's just crenellations, there would be a blind spot, and the enemy could just hide up against the wall and kind of collect their troops there. Now, with this design, there is no way to do that because they would be being shot at no matter what, and would be rather difficult to, well, congregate in any area around the castle. In this case, there's a moat, but they could do that on a barge as well, but still very difficult to do with the overlapping fields of fire. Also, there's no way to tunnel underneath the castle because all the way around is, of course, very swampy, wet ground. Great. And no, I do not cheat in order to make it daytime. I have asked somebody to sleep. We do have a plugin that makes it so that people, when they, only takes one person to sleep in order to, change the time. So let me actually get to some more design influences of this castle. So it's taken a heavy Bogium influence. In fact, I will admit a major inspiration for this castle is Uminum, the man who created Queensguard, the Queensguard castle design. He actually has made Bodium Castle, an accurate version of it, over on the the Darwin Reforged server. No, it was the Conquest Reforged server. It's an old castle, no longer, I don't think it can actually be found anymore. I don't even know if it's on the server anymore, but I remember seeing it and it super inspired me to one day make a quad-angular castle. Now, I am not copying that. There's a lot of things here that are a lot different than Bodium. However, again, this is very Bodium. For example, this here is the stables, and there's going to be a hayloft on top of that. There is, of course, the gatehouse and everything, so that's pretty much all standard. The Barbican out front and the causeway is pretty standard. That is Bodium. As you can see, there's an octagonal platform that's going to be over there. There's not going to be anything built on that. It's just going to be basically part of the causeway, just going to be a platform, pretty much. Nothing really to it. And this is going to be the ground level of the castle, so you're going to be way up high. So that way, if someone comes up in a boat, they actually have to come up quite a bit in order to get into the entrance. So there's a lot of design in here, defensive design, in order to maximize the defensibility of the castle in general. Over here is going to be the guardhouse. There's going to be lots of guards and just weapons and armory in there. I don't really have plans yet for these other like smaller spots here or the towers in general. One's supposed to be a cistern, which is a water collecting where like rainwater would be collected. So I will be making a cistern and also a well in a adjacent tower closer to the kitchen. This here is going to be the chapel. It's going to be the castle chapel. The Lord is going to have, the Duke, is going to have his own chapel, his private chapel. It's going to have 3 towers, 1 on each axis. This is the west, that is the east, and that is the north side, and that is the south side. So if we go directly that way, pretty much, it'll lead us back to Queensdale. This is going to be guest residences. Again, not really decided on these little areas. This is going to be the royal residence. So this is all going to be where the Duke and his lady and maybe his son or whatever, all of them will live there. Maybe this will be a private dining area. This will probably be the kitchen, this whole room right there with storage underneath. This is going to be the dining hall right here. Big windows in the courtyard. This is actually inspired by Hurstmonceau Castle. The dining hall influence from that definitely takes precedence. And then over here, not really have plans for any of this. Probably more storage space and things. Maybe even rooms for servants, probably. I also need to put in plans for chimneys, as chimneys are a very prominent design in these castles, because usually there would be chimneys poking out of the roof all over the place. It's going to have a low-cut roof and a pretty flat wall design, but it's going to have it's going to look pretty. It's not going to just look flat and boring. There's definitely going to be a lot of design features in order to make it quite interesting. And that tower back there is going to be where the Lord's Chapel is and things. And then, of course, the central courtyard is going to be really pretty. Maybe a tree in here, lots of different flowers and things. But in general, just getting ready overall, trying to get all the resources I need. I got lots of clay. I got 2 shulker boxes of clay. Got lots of coal, got some books, whatever that means. I don't even know if well, yeah, we'll be using books at some point. But I got a lot of resources in here that I'm going to be using. This is going to be for the foundations. I'm going to be using the orange concrete and brown concrete technique again in order to create the foundation. Maybe a little bit of andesite mixed in there as well. Lots of wood that I've been collecting, and just in general getting, like I said, ready. This is my concrete builder or maker made out of obsidian. My original design or idea was to actually completely fill, as you can see, all the outer walls are 3 thick. And I was going to fill all the middle layer with obsidian, but I may do that actually just for a few blocks up, like maybe, I don't know, 6 blocks, but I don't know if it's really worth trying to collect that much obsidian. That's just absurd. And as for the rest, I may try to use some cobble to fill it in, but I'm just going to use texture blocks for the outer skin. So now what I am going to be doing is trying to put together the foundation for this castle with you guys, and hopefully get a solid idea thrown out so that we have a plan of what's going to happen. Not to mention, I also got to dig the moat, but that's probably not going to be this episode. That'll probably be a future episode when I have more time to do so. But there are a couple things that I want to ask you guys first. Number one is I want you guys to come up with a name for this castle. I want you to come up with a name for the lord of this castle. Well, not the lord, the duke of this castle. This is the duchy. I also have plans for the surrounding lands, but that'll be future episodes when I tell you all about that. That being said, I want you guys to help me come up with a great name for this castle. This would be, as an example, Winchester Castle, ruled by Duke Brandon Thorne of Gardaland. I don't want that, but that could be an example of the format that you guys could use. 3 names: Castle, Duke, Duchy of this castle, and hopefully you guys will have a lot of suggestions that I can kind of look over, and in a future episode when we come back to this castle, then I will have picked a collection of the names that you guys have suggested. Now, it is unlikely that I'll choose all 3 of someone's suggestions. I'll probably choose 1 from each person, and I will credit those names to each of you that have suggested the names. And so I'm really looking forward to some good suggestions. Don't go too weird. I definitely want it to be very English themed, since this is an English themed castle, but I am really looking forward to some creative ideas as well. I think what we're going to do really quick here is get a general idea of the moat, so I'm going to dig that really quick, and then also we're going to start the foundations this episode. Alrighty guys, well, I know I said really quick, but well, let's just say that I have been spending a lot of time digging this moat. I've had a little bit of help from a few people around the server. When I first started in that corner, Aquotis and Tarago were helping me. Also, I do have a beacon, a generous gift, or I'm borrowing it from Tarago, and it's really made this process a whole lot easier. And as you guys are aware, the Bodium Castle design has a very large moat around it, and so that is what this is all going to be. Now, you see that it doesn't look good, but the whole reason I did this is so that I can make a very smooth and very aesthetic looking moat surrounding the castle. So as you can tell, I've really been spending a lot of time making this happen. Got some great tools in order to do it and everything, but let me show you guys up here on the layout and to see what's going on. But one other thing that I want you guys to see is I've made the walls 1 block thicker as well all the way around. I don't know, something about me and thick walls. Gotta have those thick walls, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Also, I have decided I will go for the 1 block thick obsidian walls as well. I'm gonna make a layer of obsidian all the way up. I already got a shulker box of obsidian. I've been in the end harvesting some of that, so in any case, there is a lot of work done, but still a lot to do. And like I said, we will be doing the foundations in this episode, so we'll go ahead and do that really quick. But first, I want to give you guys a nice sky view of the castle, and as you can see, it's a very square moat that it's going to be, but it's going to definitely look really nice once I'm done naturalizing the edges and, well, you know, making the actual moat itself and filling it in with water, so that's going to be great. And I think I'm going to be using seawater for the moat, so that may or may not be the case. We'll see, because I am on a sort of land bridge here, and it's very close to the ocean. But I really do like what's going on. I've been very inspired and really enjoying this process. But it's this digging thing. Like, most people on the server are like, what are you doing? Goodness, this is so much. Like, is it worth it? And I would say yes. The finished product will hopefully, I've been having so many skelly horses around me. But anyways, yeah, hopefully the result will really be worth the process it took to get there. So yeah, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and do those foundations now. Okay guys, so I actually decided in order to get this episode out on time, I would prefer just to leave the foundations for another episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. You liked the start to my new project here. There's definitely a lot done, a lot more to go, but I got a Christmas break coming up. Hopefully we'll have a lot of time to get this finished and well, at least the exterior finished. That's my goal, is to get the moat and exterior of the castle done by the end of my break. So that's not this week but the next, and hopefully lots and lots of time to do that. So in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Also, there will be the number for the seed in the description below. Some of you have been asking for that, and as far as a world download, there may be a possibility once we are more finished to release sections of the map for world download. So like if I wanted to release a download for this castle, I would provide a specific download for just this area. Or Queensdale, like there would just be specific downloads for that stuff. So there is a possibility we will do that, and because the world itself is way too big, it's 32 gigabytes, so we don't really want to provide a download that big. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing what your ideas are for the name of this castle, and also I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. So in any case, hope you guys have a great day, have a great night. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Till then, bye-bye.